All right, you primitive screwheads, listen up.
Well, I got a burr under my saddle.
We talk, you listen.
Somebody that's going to take an innocent life is not mentally insane?
You know them.
Time to nut up or shut up.
You love to hate them.
It's the Denton and Sasquatch Show.
Can I bring my AR-15 next time?
Sure.
Yes.
This place is half talk show, half weird daycare. I love it.
You can't handle the truth.
Hello and welcome once again to the Denton and Sasquatch Show, coming to you from California and Alabama. My name is Sasquatch. I'm here in California. His name is Denton. He is in Alabama. And somehow, through the modern technology we have today, we are with you. There, you happy, Denton? I changed it up.
I like that. Much better. It doesn't sound like you ought to be paying for it on the internet.
Didn't want to offend anybody. You know how that goes.
Oh, yeah, you can't offend anybody nowadays. I mean, you can. Actually, you can't go through the day without offending somebody.
Very true. But you know what?
What?
Something miraculous has happened.
What?
We've got fan mail.
Read it.
So after not having any forever, now we've got 3.
Wow.
Yeah, all right. First, fan mail says, it was just from our good friend Fang Fairy. He says, yes, I'm still listening. Because I think we referenced on the show that we don't think he's listening anymore because we didn't see any people in Europe that were listening. But he says, yes, he's listening.
Must be using one of those VPN things.
Yeah, and he also says that my VPN is working fine, I think. Something like that.
Yeah.
All right, we got another one. The headline says, nice show. It says, boys, yes, the world done gone crazy. Your friend, Lenny Nails.
Lenny Nails.
Yes, Lenny Nails.
World done gone crazy. Slippy.
Yes, I believe that is one of his alter egos. Now, this one, the third one, I say for last because it's interesting. And I don't remember mentioning this on the show, but when I first read it, I thought, okay, well, this is just somebody, being silly. But it comes from the web address, or the email is misso@oprah.com.
misso@oprah.com.
Yeah, so if somebody's being silly, they went to the trouble to go to Oprah's website or email site or whatever and get an email that is from Oprah.
Well, they went to great lengths. This is great.
Well, unless this is really who they say they are, but it says, hi, Denton and Sass. I hear from a reliable source you dared me to email your show. Well, here's the email. Now I'd like for both of you to play nicely and not use any names in a nasty way. I hope your show rises in numbers until one day you have as many fans as I do. Y'all be good. Oprah, your number 7th biggest fan.
Well, Oprah, we appreciate you listening to us, and we always play nicely. And did you dare her to listen?
I might have. It sounds
you dared
like
somebody to listen.
It sounds like something I would do. So, yeah, I probably did. I don't know. Probably her or somebody else. I don't know. Okay, if this isn't from Oprah, if this is from just somebody making a joke, way to go the extra mile and get an Oprah email account so it looks more real. If this is from Oprah, hi. Thanks for emailing.
Hope you continue to listen.
Yeah, keep listening. You might learn something.
And I don't need a new car, but Sass might. He just got married. His family grew faster than normal. So if you want to throw a car at somebody, throw it that way.
No, I don't need a new car, but I'll take a new car.
I don't like new cars. I don't like the one I got. I want to drive it off a bridge. I want to go back to my 99 Taurus with no electronic crap on it to go out. And that's another argument. I probably pissed about this earlier. Anyway.
Yeah, so there you go. We do actually have an email. We will read them on the show. And if you would like to email us, you can email us at
DentonandSassShow@gmail.com. Or if you want to go see how we just write when we're writing on message boards, you can go where?
That would be prepperforums.net.
Yes. And you can argue with us. We love to argue.
Oh, it's so much fun.
Yes. Now let's get the show started. What do you got?
What are you talking about? You mean fan mail is not starting the show?
Well, yeah, but the content.
Oh, okay, the actual content.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I sort of have a long drive home, well, actually to and from work, so it gives me plenty of time to contemplate things. So I was kind of thinking about this. This isn't any story or anything, it's just something I was thinking about. I just wanted to throw out to you and throw out to the listener.
How far do you drive? One way?
How many miles?
No. Time.
2 hours.
2 hours one way.
Yep.
That's
Well,
what,
no, okay. It was 2 hours before the pandemic. Now it's about an hour and a half in the morning and about an hour 45 on the way home.
Still quite a haul there.
Oh, tell me about it.
Plenty of time to think.
Trust me, it sucks balls, but it's worth it when I get home because I'm not around anybody.
Well, okay then. So what were you thinking about this last trip?
Well, I think about a great number of things, but let me throw out this question to you and to the listeners. Now, if I would have said 5 years ago to you, said, hey, look, I have a crystal ball or a time machine or whatever, and I've seen into the future, I know what's going to happen. Everyone is going to be wearing masks and scared to death of dying from the flu, and there's going to be rioting in the streets because some people think they need reparations. What would you have said?
Well, I can't remember. Well, yeah, in California, marijuana was delegalized already.
So you would have thought I was high.
Right, yes. I mean, why would people walk around? Okay, we've had influenza before. You know, it's nothing new. People die from it. We never had lockdowns or wear masks. And as far as rioting, it's not like it's brand spanking new, but not to this extent. Nobody said, I just stole that TV set from Target because it's a form of reparations. But now it's happening. And it's being okayed by the politicians.
Well,
local politicians.
And there's my next point. I'm glad you brought that up. Now they're demanding that we defund the police. People are not getting prosecuted for these for looting and rioting. I mean, most of the police are doing their job and they'll arrest somebody, but then they just get turned loose because the DAs say, "Oh well, we're actually cool with this." There's liberal mayors, liberal DAs, liberal governors. They're not even allowing it. They're egging on the riotings. You know, saying it's okay, saying you deserve it. You know, you've been wronged by the white man for so long. So here's the sobering moment. Now that I told you 5 years ago that this would be happening, now what do you think the country's going to look like in 5 years if this keeps going?
Oh, that is a very good question. Well, I don't want to steal yours. You had that long drive and you had time to think. What do you think it's going to look like?
Well, I think it's going to look like a, for lack of a better term, shithole third world country.
Yeah? Well, but why?
Well, I mean, the rioting and the looting and the behavior is just going to escalate if it's allowed. These people aren't being prosecuted. There's no consequences for what they're doing. I mean, that's kind of how our system works here. You do something that is illegal, there is a consequence to pay. And there are no consequences anymore. All these, like I said, liberal mayors, DAs, governors, they're all egging it on and just letting it go. And now, today, I know you're going to talk about this a little later, but we got the VP pick for Biden, Kamala Harris, who, you know, she's one of these people that goes back and forth, but right now she's on the train of, oh yeah, we need the reparations and do whatever you want. So if Biden were to win, and you know he's not going to be in office for long, Harris would basically become the president. Can you imagine in 5 years? Because she'll get 4 years to do it. So in 5 years, it's going to be a wasteland. I mean, maybe not in certain states like where you live, but in California, in New York, in Boston, in Chicago, places like that. It's just going to be. It'll be like Escape from New York, that movie with Kurt Russell, where there's just criminals running the streets constantly. And there'll be a mass exodus of normal people who may still think liberally that are coming to your states because they're tired of the toilet bowl that they've made.
But they don't know how it was made.
That's usually the problem. They usually, it's really crappy around here, but I just don't know how it got this way. Well, because you voted in mayors, DAs, governors that allowed this type of stuff.
Well, as a matter of fact, going down that route, if you think about it, how do people's food and products get into the cities? By truck. Now, if you're a truck driver and you're said, okay, I want you to take this load into Chicago or Detroit. Never mind the rioters, the murderers. Just take it in there, do your best to get in there, and then do your best to get out. I used to drive trucks. I mean, that was back when there was some civility left in the world. I never felt like I was in danger or anything. But nowadays I'd probably tell the dispatcher that he could drive the truck himself, or he could do something himself. So when these cities get totally out of control, what are they going to eat? Each other?
Well, I suppose there could be some let me see if I can say the word right. Cannibalism, yes. But what's going to happen is they're going to burn out all their resources. Then they're going to start moving their way out. First in from the city to the suburbs, and then to the rural areas.
Oh, where people have guns.
True. They do have guns.
And Joe Biden said to use a shotgun.
Well, I think some people are going to be using a little more than a shotgun.
Yeah. So, yeah, I can see a big problem. And put that on top of the fact that this corona crap has really messed with our economy. I don't think the unemployment rate is as stellar as what Trump's trying to say it is. I think it's worse. The manufacturing, houses, people are about to get evicted from their houses. That means people aren't having jobs. No, I don't think it's going to be good. And on top of that, the dollar is crumbling. Russia and China are working together to get around the dollar. They don't want to use the dollar anymore. They want to do their own thing. They want to be in control now. Who can blame them? Everybody wants to be in control. But when the dollar tanks, guess what? That food that you can't get hardly anyway is going to be a lot more expensive.
Well, and you see your enemy's weakness and you take advantage of it. That's what they're doing.
Well, heck yeah, I don't blame them. Don't like them, but I don't blame them.
We are now a divided country, so they're pretty much getting exactly what they wanted.
Yep. So how did this happen again?
This thought?
Yeah, how we got here. Okay, China released a virus. Matter of fact, sent their people here to make sure it got here good and proper.
Well, now that's just racist that you even suggest that.
Okay, all the white people living in that area known as China. Is that better?
Yeah, they released it?
Yeah.
Those damn white people.
I hate them. Each and every one. And then the Democrat leadership in cities and states have really promoted this rioting and looting and killing. So it's commies and commies working together.
Yeah, it would seem that way. I mean, a lot of people don't want to believe it, but it seems like the Democrat Party has been taken over by communists.
What is it? Which one of those mayors was it? Lightfoot that said it'd be the summer of love.
Oh, that was the Seattle one with the chop. Is that Lightfoot? Is she there, or is she in Chicago?
No. Lightfoot's in Chicago. Yeah, I can't remember the Seattle woman's name.
Yeah, but it was her. But I want people to think about that, I don't know when they do their thinking. Sometimes I do my thinking driving. Sometimes I do my thinking in the shower. Whenever you do your thinking, just think about that. With everything that's going on right now, if it continues to go on and is allowed to continue to go on, what's this country going to look like in 5 years?
Well, I think it was the last episode or the one before that, I made a point to make people think about making a point to start gathering canned foods, shelf-stable foods now.
Well, I mean, that's a great idea. I suggest everybody do it as well, but, I mean, that stuff's only going to last so long.
Well, that's true. That's true. But, if I can stave off starvation for a year for my family instead of let's just go ahead and get her done now this week. Well, there's always hope that things will get better.
I don't think hope's going to do it. I think people need to start getting mad and saying enough of this.
Well, you have a point there. And if that be the case, an army moves on its stomach, right?
Yes.
Have your food, have your ammo, have your weapons, and get mad. Not saying to kill anybody. Don't take us wrong. We're not saying start a war. But bad people may visit your house. Is what we're saying.
Well, I think there needs to be consequences for these mayors and governors and DAs and everybody else that is supporting this. And once a few of them see there's consequences, like they don't get their cushy job anymore, the rest of them will fall in line. They're not that strong of supporters of the idea. Only most of them have no principles. So if they see they're going to lose their cushy job, then they'll switch around and go back to life as a normal person.
From your lips to God's ears, I just can't see it. I mean, they have sold out.
Yeah, they certainly have. They think that's the way the wind is blowing, so they're going to jump on the bandwagon. But truthfully, I mean, in my heart of hearts, I think most people in America, like 90% of people in America, think this is all BS and it needs to end. And unless we actually use our voices and say this needs to end, they're the temper tantrum child. So until somebody in the restaurant stands up and says, enough, take that kid outside and don't come back till he's quiet, it's just going to keep going.
And I can see you doing that.
I have been known to, on occasion, do things like that.
But these punks got attention that they wanted by acting how we won't act. Okay, I don't think a phone call to the Seattle mayor's office is going to do anything. I don't think 1,000 phone calls will do it, because for a fact that there are a lot of good people living in Seattle they're just sick and tired of this crap. They've lost their businesses, lost jobs, made phone calls. Nothing's happened.
And it's not only the politicians, but it's also the media, entertainment, sports, all these sport. Like I won't watch professional sports anymore. I used to be a big baseball, big basketball fan. I won't even watch anymore because I'm not supporting this crap. I'm just not going to. So if they start to see their dollars shrivel up because nobody's watching them anymore, maybe they'll get on board and go, maybe we shouldn't be supporting this.
Yeah, well, let's see how that happens too. I mean, NASCAR. You would think that'd be the last bastion of conservatism. Nope. They've gone down the stupid route. Now, that takes some cojones right there for something like NASCAR to decide, now we're going to flip over and we're going to be liberals now.
Yep.
Anti-gun, pro everything immoral, liberal.
So, there you go. That's just my little sobering thought. We'll call this Squatch's sobering moment.
Yeah, should have been the last one, so we could say, we're doomed. What do we do?
Oh, I can drink up right now.
All right.
Stuff that goes right along with this. I know you said a lot of people like to hear the California news. Well, I've got a little bit of that.
Morbid curiosity, yes.
Yes, California. Beautiful place that's just been destroyed. Let's do the COVID one first. It turns out California's high coronavirus numbers might not be as accurate as they were previously reported, because state health officials just announced a technical glitch has resulted in a backlog of COVID-19 cases and deaths. The data breakdown occurred within the California Reportable Disease Information Exchange, or CalReady system. The CalReady system was not built for this volume of data. Dr. Mark Galey, Secretary of California Health and Human Services, said on Friday, our data system failed, and that failure led to inaccurate case numbers and case positivity rates. He added, it also prevented counties from having some of the data they needed to respond to the virus in their communities. So
you're not as ate up as you thought.
Yeah, that's a bunch of gobbledygook, but really what he's saying is we screwed up and it's not as bad as Newsom's been saying. Now, personally, I think Newsom knew that. Like they've been cooking the books on purpose so he can, for lack of a better term, play God and decide when we're going to open and when we're not, because he just loves that power. But yeah, it's apparently not as bad as it would seem here in California. And if it's happening here, I would guess it's happening in other places too.
Oh, you know, they've had too many cases of where, well, for example, that guy who crashed and killed himself on a motorcycle. Nope, wasn't the motorcycle that killed him. It was COVID. We've seen that they cook the books. And it's not just California. Governor Kay Ivey here in Alabama, or as we call her, Meemaw. Meemaw has told all of us little children that we have to wear a mask when we're outside or indoors.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's really, after all these cases that show they don't work. As a matter of fact, I was reading one this afternoon. You know those gaiters?
Yeah, that's what I wear.
Okay. They actually don't just do nothing. They do worse than nothing, because what they do is when you're talking, the spit,
mm-hmm.
it breaks it down to smaller droplets, which will linger in the air longer than larger droplets will.
You know, I kind of figured that because of the way the material is, and I've sort of been being a guinea pig myself. I figured
mm-hmm.
I would do this for the betterment of humanity and see if I get it. And
no, it's not. When you wear these kind of things, it's not to protect yourself, it's to protect others from you. So rather than being a guinea pig, you're making the people around you be a guinea pig.
All right, well, whatever. But
they're not your friends. You don't like them anyway.
What I'm saying is I've been in this since the beginning. I am an essential worker. I've been out there on the front lines. I have not got COVID yet. Not saying I can't get it. I mean, it's definitely a possibility. But if anybody should have gotten it by now, it's me, and I have not gotten it.
We've had several cases at work, and 2 have died. One was 70, okay? Give him a break. And he also worried himself into the grave. The other guy that I know, morbidly overweight, unchecked diabetic, he's back at work. So go figure this crap. All right, so yeah, probably you're going to get diabetes. I hope you don't do that. Probably you're going to get the corona. You know, you may have already had it and didn't know it.
That's a possibility. I could have had it too. But if I did, I didn't make anybody in my household sick. And if they were sick, they were like me and they were asymptomatic. So,
well, that's because you're that polite. Why get your family members sick?
Exactly. But I just thought I would read that because I know a bunch of people across the country, you know, listening to the news, and oh my God, it must be like Armageddon out there in California because Governor Newsom says it's so bad. No, it's not.
No, Goofy Newsom, he did lessen the restrictions on y'all, right? With this new information, he's not being so tyrannical, is he?
Oh, of course not. He's coming on the air and saying, well, you know, even though it's not as bad, we don't want to get ahead of ourselves, so we're going to keep things just the way it is.
Once a tyrant, always a tyrant.
Yeah, that's his spin. In more California news, now this sort of goes with what I was talking about earlier about the liberal mayors allowing this kind of stuff and governors allowing them to riot and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
This guy that is doing this is definitely, he's a huge liberal. And if you look at him, look at a picture of him, he's a big wiener. He's a big, giant liberal wiener. His name is Scott Wiener, by the way.
And it should be that way.
It should be. He looks exactly like what you would think. You know, skinny jean wearing. He has a beard, but it looks like a wiener beard. That's such a thing. But this guy, he's out of mission. He's in the California State Senate. And he's out of mission. He thinks that everybody in California, well, he's starting with California, but the plan is this they want this to go countrywide. But they think that everybody should live together in high-rise apartments in the city. There should be no rural people or no suburb people, because those people, you're taking up too much land. That's not right. You all need to be crammed in together.
Well, first off, you can tell he's a socialist.
He definitely is.
He wants to tell you what you can do with your land.
Mm-hmm.
Second off, I guarantee you, he's going to be one of those communism for thee, but not for me, he will not live in that same apartment complex.
No, he probably lives in a big sprawling mansion somewhere.
Right. And 3, you're not going to get me back in an apartment. I've lived in apartments. If everybody were like me, quiet, fine. Okay? I don't need cloggers in the floor above me keeping me awake all night. There was this one couple that lived next door when I lived in Montgomery. They had knockdown dragouts every cotton picking night. I'd turn off the TV. They were more entertaining than the TV was. But no, and no. Agenda 2025, keep it to yourself. You're not going to get me into high-rise apartments.
In one of my apartments, I had an Indian couple living next to me. Nicest people, super sweet, always very cordial, say hello, and all that good stuff. But oh my God, the stuff they cooked just reeked. Like I'd be sitting in my apartment. I was sitting in my apartment going, did they just put a human on the grill over there? Because it just reeked.
Whose dog is on the menu tonight?
Exactly. I mean, I guess the other way around, when I threw a burger on the grill, they gagged. I don't know, but it was just horrible.
They may have.
But anyway, back to good old Scott Wiener. In 2019, he authored SB 35, the controversial by right housing bill that Governor Brown signed into law in September. Now, just think about that. The name of the bill is called Buy Right. So he's telling you that if you do what he says, you're buying right.
What did he say to do?
Well, it was...
How can I do it right?
Wiener believes in a supply-side build solution to California's housing woes and blames those woes on local jurisdictions. Residents to new residential developments. He presents himself as a brave policymaker who grapples with hard issues that others have dodged, an image belied by his evasive response to questions. Basically, like I said, he wants everybody to live in apartments together, crammed on top of each other. Now, this SB 35 was back in 2019. Just today, they moved forward in a commission, SB 1120, I think it is, and they're going to get it signed because Newsom's going to sign it. But what they did, this is crazy. They took out restrictions. Now, you would think that, California's huge. You would think that they would say, okay, whatever your county is, you decide what's best for you. But no, they've decided they're going to take it away from the counties. And what they've done is they're saying, okay, on any parcel of land, you can now build up to 4 houses or an apartment building.
What's a parcel?
Well, just wherever a house is, your land that your home is on. So, well,
I've got like an acre. I don't see fit another 3 houses here.
Okay, well, so do I, and mine is bigger than most. If you've ever seen houses in California, they're built basically almost on top. But you could look out your window in the side of your house, and your neighbor's 3 feet from you. So they're already close enough. But what he's saying is you can build 3 more houses on that lot. That's how tight he wants to cram people in.
Or an apartment.
Yeah, or an apartment complex.
2 duplexes.
So one of the things they took out is, for zoning in California, most California counties, you have to have 2 things. You have to have a yard and you have to have a garage for houses. Well, they've taken that away. You don't have to have garages anymore. So what's that going to do? That's going to make everybody park on the street. Or get rid of your car because they want you to take mass transit.
That's going to work so well in rural California. I can imagine these ranchers out there in the Sierra Highlands.
Well,
you want us to do what?
This is just the beginning. They don't want you to live rurally out in the Sierras. They want you to come into L.A. They want you to come into Orange County. They want you to come into San Diego. And everybody live on top of each other. That way they can control you easier.
So what's going to happen? You just bought a house. Okay, let's go back to your 5-year thing. All right. 5 years from now, they say, get your butts in we're not even going to ask you anymore. Get in the city.
Well, I suppose I'm going to die in a pile of brass.
Okay. Well, let's
There's a few people
that
know what that means. I am not okay. Like you said, I'm not going back to an apartment either. I've been in enough apartments in my lifetime. I'm not going to an apartment.
Well, what I'm trying to say is what happens to your property value? I mean, you couldn't sell your house and get the heck out of Dodge, could you?
Well, the way they're doing it now, I could sell it so they could build 3 more houses on it, and I'll be gone to Arizona. That's my game plan. I'm definitely
that sounds like a pretty good game plan.
I'm not sticking around for them to march me into the gas chambers.
Well, that's a good thing.
Now, the craziest thing about this, in my opinion, is this is getting pushed forward rather quickly, where they want everybody to live on top of each other right during COVID. Now, what is the worst possible thing for COVID? People living
Close
on top
contact.
of each other. Yes. That's why China had such a problem, because they have people living on top of people. That's why New York had such a problem, because they have people living on top of people. And these people want to do the exact same thing. So if there were, say, another pandemic of whatever, all of these people would be getting sick and dying. So they don't really want people to live and be safe. They don't care if you die, just as long as you're in the city where they can watch you.
Well, Mr. Wiener is pushing Agenda 2025, and if anybody doesn't know what we're talking about, look it up. And if he's pushing 2025, then you know he's a globalist.
Yes.
And the globalists want the population to be drastically cut around the world. Which, okay, my opinion is, if you believe so strongly in that, lead the way. Kill yourself.
I can second that. I guess my entire point of this was you get what you ask for. I mean, if people are going to keep voting these people into office, this is what we're going to get. So if you don't want to live this way, you got to do everything you can, encourage your friends, encourage your family to not vote for these people.
And Epstein didn't kill himself.
Exactly. And if you're one of these people who are like, well, I agree with you, but I don't have enough information, so I really shouldn't talk about it. Get the information. There's tons of stuff online. You can listen to podcasts. You can listen to different news rather than CNN. There's a million places you can get information and learn about this type of stuff. So learn it. That way you can talk about it. You can explain it to people.
That is absolutely. Now you have to, when you dig around Google, we know that they control information. So when you're digging around, you got to be careful. You got to be persistent. You may have to go to the 4th, 5th, or even 8th page to find the information you're looking for.
Well, go to DuckDuckGo or go to what's the other one I always tout?
I've got it right here. Hang on. Did you get it?
Smart Page.
Yeah, Start Page.
Yes.
Well, DuckDuckGo is just a go-between between you and Google. Okay, it prevents anybody from following you or falling back to who you are, getting information from you. Start Page uses Bing.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's pretty much the difference between the two.
I think it's the
They're
other.
protecting your privacy.
I think it's the other way around, but yeah.
My bet.
I think DuckDuckGo uses Bing, don't they?
Not what I read.
Okay, well, I could be wrong. All right,
Well, I
well,
hope so, because I want some of those Boysenberry cookies when I win the bet.
I got a boysenberry plant growing in my garden right now, so I can send you the real thing.
Oh, that'd be great.
I have flapped my gums for way too long, and we are running along, so is there anything you want to get to?
Yeah. How long have we gone here?
30 minutes already.
30 minutes already. Okay. Back to what you were talking about, the rioting and the stupid things people are saying, everything. Even remember, every time Trump would say something, anything, he's racist.
Of course, he is a racist.
He's fomenting racism and violence and hate and everything. Well, now, if you follow all these stupid protests and the BLM, Antifa, white people are inherently racist.
Yes, I agree. They are. We're all racist.
White people are the scourge of the earth. White people should die. Or is that, I saw a little meme where somebody wrote on a wall, kill all whits. Okay.
That's funny.
Yeah. Well, all that kind of crap they're putting out, it's going to have something to do with the way people start thinking. It dehumanizes people, even little children. It dehumanizes children. Well, speaking of which, 25-year-old Darius N. Sessoms of Wilson, North Carolina, is in police custody for executing a 5-year-old boy.
I'm sorry, did you just say executing a 5-year-old boy?
Mm-hmm. I did.
Well, so apparently this boy probably broke into his house, sexually assaulted his mother, stole the family's fortune, and then went to the local church and dropped a trowel and dropped a deuce, right?
Yeah, of course. And the 5-year-old boy's mother said he didn't do nothing. Okay. But 5-year-old Cannon Hennant on Sunday was riding his bike in front of his home when Darius Sessoms ran up to him, put a gun to his head, and executed him in front of his 2 sisters. Nothing but crickets from mainstream media. This is from Gateway Pundit, by the way. According to the neighbors, Darius Sessoms lives next door to the victim's family and had just had dinner at their home. Sessoms was taken into custody on Monday and charged with first-degree murder. What took so long? Okay, why did he do that? The little boy accidentally riding his bike on Sessoms' lawn. He's 5 years old. He doesn't know territory yet. But even if the kid was doing it on purpose, running through the roses, assuming Sessoms was growing roses, it's a little bit excessive to execute him, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, that sounds a little excessive.
But, when you dehumanize people, we're the racists. I don't recall. Anyway, they're the ones now killing people because of the Antifa, BLM are messing with these people's heads. They've lost their darn minds. You can't tell the difference between right and wrong. So now we are not human. That sounds very familiar, doesn't it? Sounds like what they used to say, that blacks were dehumanized and blacks weren't seen as human beings.
Yeah, Hitler did it with the Jews.
Yeah, so nothing new.
Well, let's not forget media's role in this, because they are definitely pushing the agenda that dehumanize white people.
Yeah. I mean, those people, protesters and the leaders of the protests, they'll say it, but it's the media that puts it out there for everybody else to hear. Speaking of racism, now we're getting to the root of racism, and we've got to, and I've always said math sucks. All right. Brooklyn College professor claims math is white supremacist patriarchy.
What, you mean math, that thing that's been around for thousands of years?
According to you, but according to her.
That thing that the Chinese pretty much perfected thousands of years ago?
Brooklyn College professor of math education. Now, you going to argue this woman? Brooklyn College professor of math education, Laurie Rubel, argued this week on Twitter that the mathematical equation of 2 + 2 = 4 reeks of white supremacist patriarchy.
Well, obviously, because when the slave owners would buy their slaves, they would say, I'd like 2 and then 2 more, so that would be 4. I want 4 slaves.
Well, what if you said, okay, 2 trans-testicle black men-women things plus 2 metrosexual peg-leg-wearing, we're going to assume they're men, but they're not really, equals 4 weirdos.
No, that just equals a gaggle full of patriots.
Okay. Well, so the idea that math or data is culturally neutral or in any way objective is a myth. I'm ready to move on with that understanding. Who's coming with me? Come on, Laurie. Let's get a parade of morons. She proves that you can go to college, you can even become a professor and be a stark raving moron.
Well, I think a lot of them are.
Oh, yeah. Along with of course, math is neutral because 2 + 2 = 4 trope and the related and creepy math is pure and protect math reeks of white supremacist patriarchy, she said. I'd rather think on nurturing people and protecting the planet with math service of them goals. What the hell has she been smoking?
Math is pretty much an absolute. I mean, if aliens were to come down, at least this is what I've learned from watching movies, to come down to Earth and try to communicate with us, they'd most likely do it through math.
Yes, math.
Because we all know
music.
it. Yeah. Well, music is math, basically.
Is math, yeah. Okay, well, let's move right along to the next case of insanity.
So aliens are
Stop.
racist too.
Yeah, aliens are racist. They don't even know what it is, but they are that. You're racist and you don't even know why or how. But you're still. The fact that you don't know you're racist proves that you're a racist. I learned that. I've been doing that cultural sensitivity stuff.
Such a wise use of your time.
I know. This is from Breitbart. Stockton University students faces suspension for Zoom background of pornography. No, it's not pornography. Foul language. Nope.
Wait, I got to guess. In the background, he had a guy that was mutilating a puppy.
That would be a close second, but no. He had a Zoom background of President Trump.
Well, Orange Man bad. Come on now.
Yeah, for those of us who don't know what Zoom is, I know what Zoom is because I invested in it. It's made me pretty good money, but it's this way you can communicate, especially during this time of uncertainty. I'd like to shoot the next person that says that.
Well, we're all in this together.
Huh?
So we're all in this together.
Well, yeah, we're all good. Well, I hate people. Anyway, you can communicate with your computer with video. You can video conference.
Yeah, kind of like Skype.
Yeah.
That we do this stupid show on.
Anyway, a student at Stockton University is facing possible suspension and other disciplinary charges for making his Zoom background a photo of President Donald Trump and for subsequent political Facebook posts defending his freedom of expression, according to the Foundation for Individual Rights and Education. According to the university, the image of President Trump caused students to feel offended, disrespected, and taunted.
So wait, where was this at?
University of Stockton.
Okay, so you're telling me that in the University of Stockton, in like their history classes, across the wall there's all the presidents, and when they get to 45, it's just a blank because that'll offend everybody?
I am certain it is.
I believe Lenny Nails was correct in saying the world has gone crazy.
Absolutely. It's funny how some people can be offended. Now, if I said I want that picture of Trump, Obama taken down. I can't stand that socialist trans testicle dude. Get him out of here. He offends me. What would they say to that?
You're racist.
Exactly. But if somebody doesn't like Trump's picture, he's in touch with his feelings, I guess. I don't know.
Apparently somebody got triggered. I do that entirely too well. I'm going to have to go do some push-ups and shoot my gun.
I was told at work by one of our listeners not to do the homo thing again. but you do it with such flair and comedy.
Oh, boy. Okay. Yeah, I'm done.
I think we've proved to everybody that, yes, we're one step closer, maybe several steps closer to, total decay. Rot of this country, probably the whole world. So if you have any disagreements with us, contact us at dentonandsasshow@gmail.com. Until then, I think we're doomed, Sass. What do we do?
We should just drink up.
Oh, stop it.